So Jose, let's start right at the top here. Why did you ultimately make the decision that you wanted to run for city council in this district?
Well, it's a late decision. I entered the race late. And the reason why I did was because I had conversations with some of the residents in the community and some of the business owners, both in the Belmont area and the East Tremont area, who have instilled a lot of confidence in me as a community leader. And they felt that the crop of candidates that are out there would not represent either the interest of the district and or the district itself. So I had conversations with practically all of the candidates, and I was not impressed myself. And being a community leader that has served this particular community for a very long time, I decided to enter the race.
You mentioned that there was something lacking in the some of the other candidates that you see there, and obviously you mentioned your experience and help in the community was the key to you jumping into the race. But what else is there that you bring to the table that you can offer the people of the district that you feel makes you the best choice?
Well, I've served this community on the Community Board 6. I used to be the chairman of its law enforcement committee back a number of years ago. I've served the community on the Area Policy Board, now known as the Neighborhood Advisory Board, where I represented the poor of the district. And so I've also served as a Democratic district leader, an elected Democratic district leader for the then 79th Assembly District, which covers a vast portion of the 15th Council District. And I've also been a member of the Democratic County Committee representing Election District 1 of the 78th Assembly District. Now, in that capacity, I've expanded on a number of issues that I basically have dealt with over the years. And so I believe my not only the experience, but the involvement in the community leads me to believe that I am the better choice.
Jose, you've been involved in the community, as you mentioned there. In your opinion, what is the biggest issue facing the people of this district right now?
Well, right now, the city council district is at a crossroads. Okay. We are, I believe, in the next 2 years to 4 years, it's going to determine whether this district continues the path that it is going on now, which is very unstable. And so we need to try to get the stability and the safety back to the residents in this district. That is the main issue at this very point. Now, given the fact that we are in a pandemic crisis and we have two of the zip codes, 10458 and 10457, with high pandemic COVID-19 pandemic rates, and the fact that we do not know whether or not the city and or state are going to be able to give us the necessary funds and resources that we need in this district. It's a very, very complicated situation. And if we continue down the path that we are right now, where crime in some categories has increased, the poor planning of the district, the dirtiness and the cleanliness of the district is being affected. And there are also other issues that are not only ongoing, but as a result of some of the mismanagement that has been going on in the district.
So I'm assuming one of those issues is what's going on with the school system right now as we're trying to get everybody up to speed and back up and running. And now as we get ready to end this school year and look forward already to what's going to happen in the fall, what are your thoughts on the education system as far as it relates to the people in the district and what they need to see an improvement?
Well, the first issue is I've always complained about the fact of the poor planning that this community has had for a number of years. We are seeing an increase in buildings that are being built in the district, and the poor planning is not giving us the stability that we need for the people that are coming into the district to be able to attend schools that are not crowded. Okay. So that being said, with overcrowded schools, I believe in some instances we are at a lack of about 558 seats in District 12. And in District 10, We are lacking also seats. That creates the overcrowding. That's the number one issue. Number two, in terms of the children that are attending our public schools, and let me just say that I am a product of the public school system. I went to PS 32 in Belmont, and I also went to junior high school 45, also in Belmont. And the children are not, as of last year, prior to the pandemic, when they went to the remote learning, uh, they were they were not reading and or having the mathematic skills that were necessary at the state level to compare with the state level. Our numbers were far below what the actual state level are. So at this point, being that some of the standardized testing has been canceled, we I feel that our children are definitely far and far beyond what we are believing. So that being said, a lot of candidates talk about the resources that we need. Um, over the years, Governor Cuomo has increased the percentage of funding to the city schools, and I believe that at this point we are nearly getting from anywhere from $28,000 to $30,000 per student, which is it's a substantial amount for the actual production that we are getting in terms of the children and their education.
Jose, you also mentioned there the planning and the building that's going on in the district. And a lot of people believe that the planning and the building has led to the fact that there's a lot of housing here now in the district that people who live here just can't afford, or they're worried that they won't be able to afford it. And there's also worry about rent going forward coming out of the pandemic. How do you plan to address or to help people deal with some of these housing issues that have plagued the district for a while?
Okay, the first of all, we have a very high propensity of right now we're under a moratorium, so it's the evictions. We have a very high number of evictions that would possibly lead to the recycling of individuals in this district. Okay, zip codes 10457 and 10460, which are in the 15 councilmatic districts, are right now considered areas with an increase in reports of tenant harassment. So, years ago, the stability of the residents in the district, there was, a stable family would come, they would go to schools and become productive members of society. Unfortunately, now what we're seeing is that the instability where families can, no longer stay in the district. Their average stays between 3 to 5 years. And so, the affordability factor is one of the issues that is affecting the families. And because of a lot of the buildings that are coming in, um, we are seeing that a lot of land use issues where the um, land has been rezoned is not including a substantial amount of middle income, low and middle income housing, depending on the area medium income. So that's an issue which is definitely affecting it. Obviously, I am going to try to basically fight as much as I can to make sure that middle class people and middle class families are able to stay within the district. I much rather have people stable and become productive rather than to leave the district, which in some cases many people are beginning to do, as we've seen throughout New York City.
And now, as we continue to move forward here, trying to get out of the pandemic, small businesses have really taken it on the chin, and they've really been ravaged by the pandemic and what's been going on there. How do you help them? How do you plan to give them some kind of assistance to get small businesses in the community back up on their feet?
Well, let me just address the issue of the small businesses, because what we're seeing right now, not only in some of the Belmont area, or the East 187th Street area, but also on the East Tremont uh, side of it. What we're seeing is that a lot of businesses are going out. They are not surviving. And what that is going to lead is to, it's going to be basically a ghost town. So we need to maintain the small businesses. We need to actually do whatever is necessary to make sure that those mom and pop stores, because we have a problem with a lot of corporate stores in the district. corporate stores in the area have not survived for many years. So we need to maintain the small mom and pop stores, try to help them as much as possible, try to give them the small business loans that they may need to recover, try to give them at a low rate, and try to get have some money that will be forthcoming from the federal government once this $1 trillion package is passed, and I believe it should be coming up for a vote in the federal government. But we need to, give them that economic engine to try to maintain whatever businesses that we have so that it can continue to assist in the stability of the district.
Jose, how do you plan, or what are your thoughts on how to address crime in the district? And what do you feel the role of the NYPD should be in public safety here in the district?
Okay, first, let me just say that I've been a former law enforcement officer. I've also been a state investigator. And I've been critical of the NYPD myself. I was one of the leaders that did the stop, question, and frisk movement here in the Bronx to try to curtail the numbers once the numbers were going up, and we knew that it was not making a dent with a gun issue. That being said, I do not agree with the defunding of the police department at this time, because what is happening is that some of the residents in this district, particularly the elderly, they do not even want to come out after a certain time of the evening. That is a big problem. We have crime, which is increasing in some categories. Burglaries in the district have gone up over the past year. Car thefts in the district have also gone up. And so we need the NYPD as part of a partner to be able to address some of the criminal activity. Now, we're talking about criminal activity. We're not talking about other issues in terms of police brutality, which I've been at the forefront of some of the movements to curtail that. So I have a history of holding them accountable, but at the same time, we do have to realize that we need them as a partner to be able to have a strategy. And in this case, most of it will be bringing a crime prevention strategy and knowledge to some of the residents. One of the things is that for many years, our legislators and people that represent this district have not reached out to the people in the community. And years ago, I had a community mobile patrol when I was part of Community Board 6, okay? That served during that time because back in the 90s, if you remember, we had a high incidence of crime as well. So I have the experience and I have the knowledge, I have the resources, and I'm going to be trying to utilize the resources that are available without having to continuously put money and things that do not work.
You mentioned it early in the interview, Jose. You talked about it, and I've seen it on a bunch of your literature. Obviously, mentioning that the district and the community seems to be deteriorating, and the conditions seem to be getting worse. You mentioned that it seems dirtier and that things need to be done. Why did things get to this point, in your opinion, and what would you do about it from City Council?
Okay, well, first of all, let me just say that in terms of the cleanliness of the district, the scorecard that was released this last year, and I believe it was July of 2020, showed that Community Board 6, Community Board 7 was #1 in the entire borough in terms of dirtiness, the score under the mayoral scorecard. Community Board 6, which also comprises the 15th Council District, is also #2. And #3 would be Community Board 3. Those three community boards comprise not a significant, but a vast majority of the district. That being said, we have to try to maintain, some kind of semblance in the district with the residents. We do have residents who actually still care about the district, where they do actually go out and they clean and they do their portion. But, as you know, the sanitation budget was reduced. We have to try to make sure that hopefully some of that budget would be restored and implement, other cleaning measures. Under de Blasio's plan, I believe he is trying to hire individuals to work in some of the communities. That's one of the programs that he is looking forward to putting together within the next year or so, within the time that he leaves office. So, I have a few ideas that definitely will work. We have to address that. We have to address the issue of this area being a rat reservoir, which also leads to some of the compounded issues. And so there are vast issues that we definitely need to address for to try to get the stability back into the district. And then once that stability is there, then we do prosper as a neighborhood. Remembering that we are in the Central Bronx.
Jose, two more questions for you. One is fun and one is a nice wrap up fun one for you. So first thing up, what is something fun about you, a fun fact about you that people may not know that you think voters would like to know?
Well, fun fact, I'm a sports buff. I've always played sports. I have an outgoing personality, sometimes a comical personality. I'm an approachable person. I like to, I play an instrument. I played an instrument back in junior high school. I went to music and art high school. So, I sometimes get together with some former friends from junior high school. And we used to have a band that we used to call Abdullah and the Gang back in junior high school. And if you go onto my Facebook page, you'll see some of the video that we put together for recently 40th anniversary reunion. And so we got together, and one of the things was that we used to sing a song called Alcatraz. Alcatraz in reference to the prison out in California. So those are one of the things, at least, that I enjoy doing, and that keep me kind of young, young and spirited.
What do you play?
Played trumpet.
Okay.
I went to music and art high school. I won the Benjamin Chancey Award for music from junior high school 45, and back in the year of the child, I was 14 years old performing at Lincoln Center.
Wow.
And I was able to go and make music in our high school. I went to that school, and then from that point on, we realized that music wasn't the way back then. And so we had to get something else. And, we went to college, and we went to John Jay College.
Very cool stuff. Very cool. See, I like asking that point. I like finding out something new about people. Jose, last question for you here. Look, last question. This is ranked choice voting this election, obviously. So people are going to have to pick, and people have the option to pick up to 5 people. And there's a lot of candidates in this race. What do you want people to know about you and remember about you, have sticking in the back of their head when they go in to cast their vote, so that they fill in that bubble next to your name?
Well, I'm asking them to vote for me because I have been here. I have served this community. My intentions are well. I'm not looking for a paycheck like most of these candidates are. I have an initiative that I am going to be putting forward, where I am going to dedicate a portion of the salary from my city council to a fund, which I'm hoping to get a private partnership, so that individuals, that not every kid wants to go to college these days. We have a need for plumbing. We have a need for other jobs that there are currently available, and we need the trade skills for. So what I am going to dedicate is a portion of my salary to that fund to supplement any child or individual that wants to get engaged in one of those trades. I will give them the necessary funds, not a loan and not a stipend that they have to repay, or that they have to take out a student loan, so that they can become viable and successful in the future. So I'm hoping that people will see the difference between myself and the candidates. I have done the job of representing and legislating for the individuals in this district, and I'm looking forward to continuing that partnership, and hopefully the stability that we need in this district.